Douglas McGregor is a really influential figure in organizational communication, management, and organizational studies more generally. He was a professor at MIT in Massachusetts. He was a vocal advocate for the human relations approach, which is a alternative or counterpoint to the classical style of management. He was very interested in what motivates people to work hard, and especially our beliefs about what motivates people to work hard. His ideas gained a lot of momentum in the 1960s. At the core, he was focused on how our beliefs shape our behavior, and then, of course, how that behavior shapes other people's behavior around us. He articulated Theory X as what he saw as the dominant belief system about employees, and the premises are as follows. The average man is by nature indolent. He works as little as possible. In other words, most managers at the time coming out of that factory era believed that employees were inherently lazy. He lacks ambition, dislikes responsibility, and prefers to be led. He is inherently self-centered, indifferent to organizational needs. He is by nature resistant to change. He is gullible, not very bright, the ready dupe of the charlatan and demagogue. In other words, people aren't very smart and they're easily manipulated. According to Theory X beliefs that McGregor articulated, without this active intervention by management, people would be passive, even resistant to organizational needs. They must therefore be persuaded, rewarded, punished, controlled. Their activities must be directed. This is, by the way, not what McGregor thought about employees, about workers. He's articulating the Theory X belief at the time, the traditional managerial view of employees. The problem with it, of course, is that it centers on control. And as we'll see, that's not necessarily going to lead to the best results. So Theory X beliefs about people result in very tight control, strict policies, and a punishments and rewards system that reinforces those beliefs. So you have a boss, and if he's thinking in his head, everybody's lazy, then he's going to be talking to them in relatively harsh ways, and they might outwardly say, okay, yeah, we'll go along with that, but they're not really enjoying the process very much. They're not really enjoying working there, and so they're not going to work very hard. According to McGregor, force breeds counterforces. So you have Theory X beliefs that then lead to your own controlling practices toward employees, and then employees in many cases will resist. The results will not be great. People aren't going to be working very hard if they're busy resisting. That then reinforces the Theory X beliefs about employees. You look around and you see this circle going over and over again every day, and it's not going to lead to very productive results for the organization, and it reinforces a negative cycle for everybody. For this reason, McGregor articulated Theory Y, and this is a little more aligned with what he believed for the most part. And that is the expenditure of physical and mental effort in work is as natural as play or rest. This is very different from calling people lazy. He thought people could work hard and enjoy it. External control and threat of punishment are not the only means for bringing about effort toward organizational objectives. Man will exercise self-direction and self-control in the service of objectives to which he is committed. In other words, if people agree with the goals and they're committed to them, they'll work really hard. Under the conditions of modern industrial life, the intellectual potentialities of the average human being are only partially utilized. That's another way of saying that we don't really tap the potential of most employees at work. Commitment to objectives is a function of the rewards associated with their achievement. So if people believe in the goals and they have rewards associated with those goals and objectives, they'll work hard. The most significant of such rewards, such as the satisfaction of ego and the self-actualization needs, can be direct products of efforts directed toward organizational objectives. That's another way of saying that if the organization arranges things the right way, that employees can have their ego needs satisfied, their self-actualization needs satisfied while working towards the organization's goals. Average human being learns under proper conditions not only to accept, but to seek responsibility. So they're ready to lead. They don't need to be pushed around. They're ready to step up. The capacity to exercise a relatively high degree of imagination, ingenuity, and creativity in the solution of organizational problems is widely, not narrowly distributed in the population. He wanted to be clear that he's not just talking about the best of the best employees. He's saying that on average, most people have a really high potential. Theory Y in practice looks different than Theory X in practice. If you have Theory Y beliefs about people, then you're going to arrange things so that individuals can achieve their own goals and happily accomplish the organization's goals at the same time. Theory Y managers, in other words, will make different choices about how they reward people, how they talk to people, how they arrange their teams and their work process so that people can enjoy work and get the job done. You may notice that this has a lot of resemblance to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. McGregor used this hierarchy to shape his view of Theory X and Theory Y. To recap, the physiological needs at the bottom of the pyramid are really important. That's our food, shelter, clothing kinds of needs, our physical needs. And once we meet those, we can start focusing on our safety needs. And he really saw that these two basic needs were all that was being engaged at work. Up the next level is our need for belonging or love and relationships. Above that is esteem. We want to feel good about what we're doing, feel good about ourselves. And at the top level is self-actualization, which is a little hard to pin down, but it's when we are reaching our full potential as individuals. And from McGregor's standpoint, most managerial philosophies that lined up with Theory X were really only assuming that people had physiological and safety needs, and that was the only thing that was motivating them. He said, well, we're really missing out, and Theory Y helps us see that we can tap into these higher level needs that all people have. And so this is not really a case of opposites where Theory X and Theory Y are opposites. He saw them on this continuum on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that we can continue to engage these higher level needs and desires of employees, and that's going to make them work hard and enjoy the work as they do it. McGregor's work has been incredibly influential. According to Google Scholar, it's been cited over 12,000 times and counting. Most work isn't cited by anybody, and if it is, maybe only by a few other researchers, but his work has been really foundational to organizational studies, foundational to organizational communication and management studies. And that's one of the reasons why we study McGregor, for his contributions in the area of Theory X and Theory Y.